Nigerian Senate will continue the debate on the general principle of 2016 budget proposal as it reconvenes plenary session tomorrow. The Senate commenced debate on the budget last week after the initial controversy surrounding the alteration of the budget document. Cross-section of senators who spoke on the budget last week took the debate from various angles, which include global price of crude oil, dwindling state of Nigerian economy, among many other factors. Senator Abiodun Olujimi from Ekiti State criticized the budget for lack of provision for debt reduction mechanism.
If we need to borrow to manage this 2.6 trillion, it means we will be borrowing 500 million every day of this year. Every day of this year, this government will look for 500 million to borrow. And that is no mean feat. To crown it all, there is nothing in this budget that suggests repayment for this debt. Every other thing in the budget is quiet. It is only expenditure. Nothing has been set aside to ensure that we pay back our loan. What it means, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, is that we are likely to become a pariah state like we were before, begging for people to help us with our debts, which we must never get back to.
Senator Olushola Adeyeye from Osun State called for review of tax regime in the country in order to boost the revenue drive.
We must begin to tax allowances. Nigeria is the only country that shelters the bulk of the earning of its workers and call them allowances. We don't have the money. I've looked at the sectoral allocation in this budget, and I know that everybody in the Nigerian Senate is either a chairman or a vice chairman of a committee. Each of us, therefore, are evangelists trying to defend whatever sector has been committed to our care. So those in education want more money for education. Those in power want more money for power. Those in health want more money for health. Where would the money come from? Ladies and gentlemen, my colleagues, brothers and sisters, we must sit down as leaders of this country, decide areas of priority.
In his submission, Senator Dino Melai from Kogi State said the budget proposal has cut off all form of wasteful spending.
Instead of funding Malams and Marabouts with 4 billion naira, this progressive government of the APC have decided to convert money meant for celestial and spiritual and diabolical activities into providing school uniforms and school free feeding for our sons and daughters. Mr. President, instead of reappropriating our national patrimony in purchasing stove and all that, this government have decided that unemployed young Nigerians will go home every month with a take-home. This is a departure from the wastages of the past.
From National Assembly Complex, Abuja, Muyiwa Bamdele reporting. As National Assembly continues to debate on the 2016 budget, Senator Adamu Alero from Kebbi State has called for review of the crude oil benchmark for the budget. In a chat with journalists in Abuja, Senator Alero said the current price of the crude oil cannot sustain the 2016 budget.
International energy sources, the price may continue to fall down. So the only option left to us now is to reconsider the presentation of the president from $38 per barrel to a price lower than that. Otherwise, we will pass a budget that will be difficult to really implement. And Mr. President has made it very clear that there will be 100% implementation of the budget.
In his reaction, Senator Gbenga Ashafa from Lagos State called on the Senate to prepare framework for supplementary budget in view of the continued crash of crude oil price.
I have prepared the mind of this 8th Senate to the fact that this government, after a while, maybe in the third quarter, might be thinking of a supplementary budget, which we should accommodate. We should not wait till then to start to kick that why didn't you provide for such and such and such, things, and you are waiting for supplementary budget. I believe that suggestion was taken by the majority of the members.
Muyiwa Bamdele reporting.
Due to the falling oil prices and the dwindling economic fortunes of most states in Nigeria, the Nasarawa State Governor Tanko Almakura has said that the state is well positioned to key into the diversification policy of the current administration at the center. Speaking to State House Correspondent in Abuja, the governor said that plans are in advanced stage to make sure that other mineral and natural resources in the state are well harnessed for the benefit of all.
Nasarawa State is really, really happy and lucky to have this policy by the federal government about finding alternative source of revenue. This is because Nasarawa State has tremendous amount of potentials in alternative sources like solid mineral, like agriculture, and above all, commercial activities. Don't forget, Nasarawa State is just at the corridor of the federal capital. And with this emphasis on commercial activities, we saw it coming. 2 years back, we started reconstructing the Karu International Market. I'm happy to say that the market, which has a total of about 3,000 shops, stands as one of the largest markets in the whole of the North. And very soon, we shall be inviting Mr. President to commission that market so that it can boost commercial activities and increase opportunities by the citizens of the state, which ultimately will rub positively in increasing ways of revenue generation. So our focus on the economic situation in the country is to go strictly by the policies of the federal government to ensure alternative source of revenue through solid mineral exploitation, through agricultural activities and intensive commercial activities that will give all the citizens of the state the opportunity to also find ways and means of sustaining themselves and adding value to the state.
Speaking on the recent Lassa fever outbreak in the country, Tanko Almakura said that the state recorded only one case, which was effectively handled.
We only had a case of only one case, and that has been very well handled in a way that we have quarantined and restricted that patient to a place where he is being given full and adequate attention. We have also sensitized and enlightened people against the spread of such disease. Our team in the medical sector are doing all they can to sensitize people and ensure that any person that is seen with any sign or symptom that is close to that will be quarantined or isolated until the sickness is confirmed not to be Lassa.
The governor also used the medium to thank the people of Nasarawa State for standing by him even through the Supreme Court judgment that upheld his election, assuring them that he will make sure they don't regret their action. In Abuja, I am Festus Ejiroga Nefifen for Ben Television.
Hotel and Suites, number 1 AMO Road off Airport Road, GRA, Benin City, Edo State. Website www.prestigehotel.com.ng. Email info@prestigehotel.com.ng. Telephone number 070-620-84038, 081-519-74044. Prestige Hotel and Suites, world-class hospitality.
A member of the House of Representatives from Akwa Ibom State, Honorable Samuel Ikon, has said there should be transparency in the ongoing fight against corruption. It is perceived in some quarters that corruption charges against some political office holders of the immediate past administration is lopsided. But Honorable Ikon, while speaking to Ben Television, said that the executive must ensure that the fight on corruption is transparently done, even as he urged for a soft landing windows for those that want to make reforms willingly.
I feel people must be accountable for their actions. If you did loot, you have to be accountable to it. I will not be party to covering you up. But I also feel that if you are investigating people, it should be transparent in such a way that these feelings are not being felt in any way. Why is it like people are feeling that way? Simply because maybe they're seeing a particular political party members being haunted. So I feel both parties have been in office on the state levels, if not at the federal level and all of that. So let's see a balance, and then there won't be those issues. We all agree. Anybody who says there's no corruption is a pretender. But we must collectively agree to face this monster and encourage the authorities in what they're doing, while also asking for a transparent exercise so that there can be confidence. When there's a transparent exercise, that's where you find people on their own volition come out and say, I took 10 I'm going to return, but I have only 5 to return. And you see, there must also be a process where those who willingly come out are given some soft landing. That's why you hear of plea bargain in the US. Someone comes out and says, I killed somebody. And it doesn't mean that he's being let off the hook, but is given a far reduced sentence, which is a pat on the back that you showed honesty and came out. So in this fight, I also want to urge for a window of such that people who on their own volition want to make reforms are given some kind of soft landing to encourage them to come. Because by the time government pays certain SANs and so on to prosecute, even the money you're collecting at the end of the day, what's the legal fees? What's the cost of the legal fees and all, and the time and all of that? So if somebody comes out to say, okay, I'm going to refund this, why don't you take it and add to our treasury and see what good you can do for the people?
Honorable Ikon therefore urged Nigerians to support the fight on corruption. Osam Raffle, Ben Television.
Nigerian Senate has condemned vandalization of gas pipeline in Warri Delta State. At a joint press conference by the chairman of Senate Committee on Petroleum Upstream, Downstream and Gas, the Senate said Nigeria has suffered economic woes as a result of the incident. Senator Tayo Alashuadura said the activities of the vandals are setback to the country.
Act of some vandals who had decided to blow up pipelines at this time of national emergency, when the dwindling price of oil and the insurgency in the northeast of Nigeria is confronting our nation. It is very disheartening that at a time when all hands should be on deck to revive the economy and ensure the survival of the country, some people could decide at this point in time in the history of the nation to further sabotage the efforts of the present administration to bring some sanity into our country.
Senator Alashu Adra also called for tough measures against economic sabotage.
Some people started the Boko Haram thing, and if the Boko Haram thing had been nipped in the bud at the earliest time, I don't think we will continue to see what we are seeing today. Are we saying that because some people are militants, they should take over this country? Are we saying that people should force government to give them contracts? Are we saying that government should continue to patronize people that are just making money for doing nothing? I think we should allow the government to.
Nigeria is reported to be losing about 200 million cubic of gas daily as a result of the incident. From Abuja, Muyi Obamdele reporting.